Hello everyone, and welcome to our gameplay tutorial for 431 VC. We're going to start by talking about unit cards. In each deck, you will find three kinds of unit cards: Hoplites, Peltasts, and Cavalry. In the Aegina deck, you will find Shipmasters in place of Cavalry. Each deck's Hoplite will contain a Phalanx bonus, an attack bonus, and a defense bonus. A Hoplite's Phalanx bonus is determined by its city's perk. They will vary from city to city. A Phalanx bonus will be added to both a Hoplite's attack and defense rolls when it is active. A Phalanx bonus will become active when the Hoplite is stacked on top of another unit in the same zone. Attack bonuses will be added to your Hoplite's attack when they roll their dice against an opposing card. The defense bonus will be added to your defending roll when opposing other units. Peltasts are able to make basic attacks. However, because they usually have no attack bonus, they will not rely on this. Instead, they will use their execution ability. When you roll doubles, you may assign them to your Peltast to have them destroy one stack belonging to your opponent. The Peltast is destroyed in the process, but you will gain all cards in your enemy's stack. And finally, the Cavalry. The Cavalry will have a reroll bonus in addition to high attack and defense bonuses. Your Cavalry's reroll ability will allow you to reroll one dice per turn for each active Cavalry unit you have out on your battlefield. If you are playing Aegina, you will have Shipmasters in place of Cavalry units. Shipmasters will have a reroll ability similar to the Cavalry. However, they may use their ability twice. What this means is, for each active Shipmaster you have out, you may choose one dice and reroll it up to 2 times. If the first result is less than desired, you may reroll it a second time and take the better of the 2 options. Some cities will also have a Priestess or Priest card in addition to the other units. These units will be placed onto your temple. By playing a Priest or Priestess onto your temple, you are increasing your temple spirit bonus. The cards of Hermes, Apollo, and Hades will be affected by your temple's spirit bonus. The higher your spirit bonus, the more potent the effect of the card will be. Some cities may gain a spirit bonus without needing a Priest or Priestess card. Cities like Sparta and Thebes will gain a spirit bonus based solely on their temple and city perk. Next, we're going to talk about deity cards. Deity cards are acquired on your turn by assigning dice to your temple. You may acquire 1 to 2 deity cards a turn based on how many dice you assign to your temple. You may assign no more than 2 dice to your temple per turn. To acquire cards of a certain deity, the dice assigned must match the value of the deity you wish to acquire. For example, if I wish to get an Athena card, I must assign a 1 to my temple. If I wish to get an Apollo card, I must assign a 4. If you are playing the deity dice variant, you may only acquire deity cards on your turn that match the values of the deity dice rolled. Each of the 6 deities has a different playstyle associated with its cards. Athena is focused on strategy. Her effects will allow you to counter the attacks and effects of other players' cards. Hermes will bring out cards, put back cards, or help you search for cards in your deck. Ares will enhance your units with special abilities. Some will allow you to draw extra oracle cards, or allow your units to attack 2 enemies at the same time. Apollo has a range of abilities, varying from gaining oracle coins, to looking at future event cards, to stopping plague cards. Poseidon is heavily based on reroll, and will focus on enhancing your Peltasts, Cavalry, or Shipmasters in order to best use their rerolling abilities and their execution abilities in the case of Peltasts. Hades cards focus on a sacrificial element. You will often lose cards when playing a Hades deity card. However, they will do widespread damage to most of your opponents. In addition to deity and unit cards, you will also have the Delphic Oracle event cards. These cards will be flipped at the beginning of each round and will apply an effect that will last the entirety of the round to all players. In some cases, they may destroy your cards or tokens. In other cases, they may allow you to gain more cards. Certain Apollo and Poseidon deity cards will allow you to counter certain events. Apollo cards will allow you to counter the plague event. Poseidon cards will allow you to counter the flood event. The last cards we are going to introduce are the Oracle Coin and Disaster Coin cards. These cards are acquired through events, deity cards, or certain unit enhancements. These cards will be added to your Spoils of War like any other unit would be, and either increase or decrease the total amount of victory points you have acquired throughout the game. Now to gameplay. At the beginning of each game, players will grab their game mats and decks, and shuffle their decks, placing them face down in the deck zone. The deity cards will be shuffled and placed in their own respective decks around the Delphic Oracle cards, which will also be shuffled and placed face down between all players. The Oracle Coin and Disaster Coin cards may be placed off to the side of the Deity and Event cards. If you are playing with the Deity Dice variant, the 4 Deity Dice will be rolled at the beginning of each round, determining which Deity cards can be acquired that round. Once everyone has their game mats in place and all cards are set, the first 3 cards of your deck will be placed face up onto your game mat. If they are military units, such as a hoplite, cavalry, or peltist, they will be played in your military zone. If they are a priest or priestess, they will be played onto your temple. Once each player has 3 units on their battlefield, they will roll one of their dice. The highest roller will be the player who goes first. If there is a tie, both players may re-roll their dice to determine a winner. Once a winner has been decided, gameplay will continue clockwise. On the first turn of the game, you will draw 3 cards in addition to the 3 you have already played on the battlefield. This will be your hand. If you are the first player in a 3 or 4 person game, or one of the first 2 players in a 5 or 6 person game, you will not be able to play any card from your hand for the first round. After each player has taken their turn and the round begins again, the Deity dice will be re-rolled and a new event card will be flipped face up. On your turn, you may play 1, 2, or all 3 cards from your hand onto the battlefield. After you have played these cards, refill your hand to 3. At the beginning and end of each of your turns, you should always have 3 cards in your hand. After you have played your unit cards, you will roll your 4 dice. Depending on what you roll with your dice, you may choose to assign them to a unit for an attack or execution, or to assign them to your temple to acquire a deity card. Any one zone can have 2 dice assigned to it. This means you may acquire 1 to 2 deity cards, up to 3 attacks, or 2 attacks with 2 dice. You may also perform an execution with your peltist if you roll doubles. If you have 2 peltists, you may target 2 stacks with executions, assuming you roll 2 pairs of doubles. If any of the numbers you have rolled are not what you desired, and you have a cavalry or shipmaster in play, you may re-roll as many dice as you wish, equal to the number of cavalry or shipmasters you have active on the field. An active unit is defined as any of the top units in one of your 3 zones. After you have assigned all dice you wish to use that turn, you must resolve them 1 action at a time. To resolve an attack, add the dice you have assigned to that attack, plus the attack bonus and phalanx bonus if it's a hoplite of the unit you are attacking with, and compare it to the defense roll and defense bonus of your opponent's unit. If your attack roll is higher, you can claim the enemy unit and add it to your spoils of war. If the value of your opponent's defense roll is higher than the value of your attack roll, your opponent claims the attacking unit as their own and adds it to their spoils of war. In the case of an execution, no direct defense roll can be made. However, your opponent has the opportunity to counter this execution. They are able to roll 1 die, and if it matches the number that you rolled for doubles, the execution is considered cancelled. Neither your peltist nor any other unit will be destroyed in the process. When acquiring deity cards, make sure to keep your city's perks in consideration. Many cities have bonuses for acquiring deity cards that rely on them getting tokens or other bonuses for doing so. When acquiring deity cards, they are added to your hand, but do not count to your overall hand count of 3 based on unit cards. There is no limit to how many deity cards you can acquire. However, you may not play any deity card you have acquired during the same turn. For example, if this turn I acquire an Athena card, and last turn I have acquired an Ares card, I may now play the Ares card, however I must wait until a subsequent enemy turn, or my next turn, until I can play the Athena card. After you have played any unit cards from your hand, assigned your dice, and played any deity cards you wish for that turn, your turn is over. The game will continue to the person on your left. At the beginning of a round, should you start with your battlefield, having lost more than 2 stacks, you may restore them instantly at the beginning of your turn. To restore a stack, take the top card from your deck and flip it into one of the empty zones. You may only restore 2 of them, and you may only do it at the beginning of the round. A winner is determined initially by acquiring a certain amount of victory points. The amount of victory points required depends on the size of game you have and how many players are in your game. After the player reaches the set amount of victory points for your game size, players will have the opportunity to gain bonus victory points. The true winner of the game will be calculated after all bonus victory points are given out at the end of the game. The person who has the highest amount of victory points at the end of this bonus round will be crowned the winner. If 2 or more players tie in victory points, they are both considered the winners. This concludes the gameplay tutorial for 431 BC. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the battlefield.